Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So we've had a look at the handicap marks. We had a look at these a few days ago because they came out on Tuesday. When they do come out, you can look them up. You just go to the BHA website. I type in BHA updates and then look for the handicap marks, and you can search for them yourselves. You don't have to be on Twitter asking different people what the new handicap marks are. You can download a weekly spreadsheet and it'll tell you all the new changes, and that's what I do, and then I go through and find those that are interesting. So the first one that caught my eye was Authorised Speed, who went up £2 to 135. Now for me, I still think he will win off that. Even although he got beat at Ascot, he fell 2 out, I think, or 3 out. I think he was still going to win the race. I know Persian Time has form over further. I still think Authorised Speed had lots more in the tank. And it was his first run for 251 days, so whatever he did do, if he didn't quite get home and Persian Time ran him down, then it still would have been a really good run. The handicapper put him up £2 to 135, but that's ideal for Gary Moore in the fact that he can still get him into this race at Sandown. There is the Longwater Novices Handicap Steeplechase for horses rated 0 to 135, so he still gets in that. We know he's got form at Sandown. He's won 2 races and he went off the 5-4 favourite for a Tolworth. That didn't quite work out, but I still believe he's above handicap quality. I think he'll win a grade 2 in time and then end up in grade 1 still over 2 mile. I don't think he wants any further than 2 mile. But yeah, there's this race at the end of January where hopefully we can make amends with Authorised Speed. The second horse that caught my eye, I highlighted this before the race saying I don't want him to run too well. Just an average run will have been fine. And that was for Chambleur because it was over a trip too short. He actually ran really well. He closed all the way to the line, finishing third. He finished third behind Triple Trade and Harper's Brook. If it had been over 2.5 mile, he'd have probably won it. If it had been over 3 mile, he might not have ran his race. I think the drop in trip allowed him to finish his race off, and I think that will give him a lot of confidence going forward. And where do you go with this horse? So he's dropped, now he's down to 143. I know he's gone back up to a pound to 143, but that's still a decent handicap mark, not a graded handicap mark. We've got to remember he fell in a Charlie Hall when I think he was going to win that. He's got graded form. He's also got a win at Kempton back here. Let me show you this one. He won a Calto Star Grade 1. The Novices Grade 1 won this year by Il Francais. Okay, it might not have been the strongest Grade 1, but it was still a Grade 1. He's still got form at Kempton. That's where you go back and you run him in this race. Not this race, sorry. You run him in this race. The Coral Trophy Handicap. Over 3 mile on the 24th of February. Remember, he's won over 3 mile at Kempton. This is 3 mile at Kempton. This is a handicap. And it's like £89,000 to the winner. Nearly 90 grand to the winner. So, yeah, that's where they've got to be running Chambleur next, surely, in this race at Kempton. Off 143. Now that he's got that bit of confidence, having got round, I think he will go very close here. The next horse I want to talk about is Bill Baxter, who is just proving to be a little bit tricky to place over the 3 mile trip. You can see that his last 2 have both been over 3 mile, and he's disappointed really. He finished 8th at Newbury in a Hennessy or Ladbroke, whatever the race is, and then he finished 4th in a Roland Merrick. Now, he is not getting the trip in my opinion, and I think he'll be much better when he comes back in trip. But being that they want to top him with him, I wonder whether that's going to be the season-long plan. I've actually got it already loaded. The season-long plan to come and win the Topham again. It's worth 85 grand to win it again, so why would you not try and target that? It's clearly not worked going up in trip, so now they've got to target that. So what do? Well, first of all, you go to Sandown for this race. It's got decent prize money if they do happen to almost accidentally win it. But if they don't, and he disappoints and he doesn't stay again, and he drops another £2, say he dropped another £2, he would be off 136. That would be £1 higher than when winning an 84,195 race, £84,000 race. If you turned up a pound higher than when you beat Fantastic Lady, who had the Aintree form in the book as well, Has it even come out and won since? I think it has, hasn't it? No, it hasn't. It's finished. It finished 5th recently. It actually runs on the 29th. It's running tomorrow. Fantastic lady. But yeah, her form was decent anyway. She's run okay since. Bill Baxter has got to be aimed at that. So you go Sandown for this race. I would then go Cheltenham for the plate, the 2.5, because there's no harm in winning a Cheltenham Festival race if that messes up your Aintree plan, and then going for the Topham. So the idea is that it might drop a few pound for Sandown. You then run in 2 races that you're trying to win and hoping to win at Cheltenham, obviously at the Cheltenham Festival. And if that doesn't work, again, you might drop another couple of pound and end up potentially even lower for the Topham than when winning it. We move on to the next horse, and that is Myey, who has dropped £3 to 142. If the handicapper agreed and ran him off 142 over hurdles, that would be £3 lower than when finishing 4th at the Cheltenham Festival in the Martin Pipe, behind Iroko, who went on to win. He went on to finish 3rd in a Grade 1, and then come out and win a beginner's chase really impressively, and they thought he was going to be very good, but unfortunately he's out for the season. And in 3rd, behind Iroko and who was 2nd? No, Ordinary Joe. In 3rd was Buddy One. Well, Buddy One that day was running off a mark of 131. He's now rated 152. And was last seen running just a few moments ago in a Grade 1. He went off 10 to 1 for a Grade 1. And the other horse that I didn't mention there, I did briefly, No Ordinary Joe, went and finished 7th in a handicap at Aintree, didn't run bad, went off the 15 to 2 favourite that day, before then pulling up recently this season in a Grade 2, started off in a Grade 2 at 8 to 1. Well, Myey, they're the horses that beat Myey in the Martin Pipe. And the fact that Myey jumped atrociously at Ascot, in my opinion, they've got to do that. They've got to go back over hurdles now. He's been beaten twice over fences. That is not good enough for him to be wasting their time, in my opinion. I would drop him down, back over hurdles, and I'd be targeting those hurdles, because you're just losing ground at fences, which is not helping his chances at all. And the final horse I want to talk about is Unexpected Party. Now, Unexpected Party's dropped £3 to 141 after disappointing in a Grade 2. He proved that he wasn't quick enough for a Grade 2. He's actually in a race on Monday. Let's have a look at that one. He's not good enough for a Grade 2 at Ascot. He wasn't good enough for the Grade 1 at Sandown. But he is interesting when he goes handicapping. If we actually look at some of his form, let's just have a quick look at this. He's running in a novices limited handicap. Please don't run in there. That is a waste of time. As is the run for Petit Tonnerre, that would be a waste of time. They've both got better races that they could target than that. But if we look at Unexpected Party's form, 5th in this handicap here, that came off a mark of 146. You've got to remember, he's dropped now to 141. So he'd run off, if he ran off a £5 lower mark in a race against Stage Star, Il Rodotto, Fugitive, look, 1st and 2nd in the subsequent 2.5 handicap. Stage Star, who had won a Grade 1 at Cheltenham. Not long till May, would finish 2nd in a Grade 1. This is really good form, and yet he would turn up really well handicapped. Other runs he's had at Cheltenham. 5th in a Grade 1. That wasn't a bad run. And 3rd in the time of form novices handicap off 140, I think this was. But look who beat him. Stage Star and That's Alright Gino. Both really good horses. Both have won feature races already this season. He actually ran at Cheltenham when he finished, he was running off 140 when he finished 3rd. He's got to be plate bound, doesn't he? He's got to be aimed at that plate at the Cheltenham Festival, and surely that is Dan Skelton's horse for this race. Unexpected Party. They might give him one more run to get him another couple of pound off, potentially in another graded race before coming to Cheltenham for the plate. So there's 5 horses that caught my eye. I think that was 5, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 2 actually went up, 3 went down, but I think they'd all go really close in subsequent races if they are given the right plan.